Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason with Drive to Win 13. If you've ever seen any of my videos, you'll notice I have a thing for winning. I like to win, and I like to help other people win as well. When I started driving for rideshare, I had nobody to ask questions to. I had no answers. It was all trial and error. So what I've done for you is I've put together a YouTube channel that will hopefully answer pretty much any question you're going to have as a new driver. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below. All those things help me be able to bring more videos to you. I've created a playlist that will enable all of my question and answer videos to be listed in one place, and I have placed it right up there. As an experienced rideshare driver, I will be answering questions to the best of my ability. Let's go through the questions that we have for this week. Okay, this question comes from Daryl. I'm not sure where Daryl's from, but the question is this. How do I know when to talk or when to stay quiet during a ride? Well, basically what I do is when a person gets in, I always have the same phrase. I always say, how's your day? How's your day going? Something like that. Based on their reaction and how they answer that question will tell you whether or not you should keep talking. If they say, oh, it's great, how's your day? What are you doing today? How's driving? Then obviously they would like to talk. If they say it's good and they bury their head in their phone, or they put earphones on, or something like that, or they just answer it very basic and stare out the window, that's your cue that they do not want to talk. It is okay to be quiet and it's okay to be talkative. The idea is that you must realize during the very short amount of time whether or not you should talk or whether you should not. Okay, this question is from Manny. Manny asks, how do I know whether or not I should whether I should rate a passenger down for not tipping me? Okay, so this is a little bit of a sensitive subject. First of all, just like any service-oriented business, tips are extra, okay? So you can do the absolute best job that you can do, and you might not get a tip. If somebody tips you in cash or says, I'll tip you in the app, just say thank you and let it go at that. If they do not mention tipping, if they don't hand you cash, be okay with that as well. You win some and you lose some, but always keep your customer service level high and you'll have the best possible option for getting a tip. Okay, this is another question from Manny, same Manny. He asked this: how do I know if I'm doing a good job and how do I improve my business? So your star ratings will tell you to a degree whether or not you're doing a good job. When I first started, I got 14 4-star ratings in the first month, and I was blown away. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Well, here's what I decided to do. I decided to take 3 or 4 or 5 Uber rides with other drivers to try to see what they are doing right or what they are doing wrong. One of the things that I unfortunately was doing that I didn't realize was I had a card in the back of my car talking about the ratings and how they work. I removed that, and that problem with 4-star ratings completely went away. Okay, so this is a question from Cheryl. She's asking a question about Uber Eats. How do I know when I should do Uber Eats versus driving passengers, or should I do them both at the same time? So here's what I do. If I have Uber Eats running during high peak times, maybe there's an event, a college football game, a pro football game, something where there's going to be a lot of volume passenger-wise, I will turn Uber Eats off. I will also turn Uber Eats and Uber on during low times, such as maybe between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. and I'll take whichever one I get, okay? Obviously, there's high peak times for food, one of them being between 11 and about 1, and then also between about 6 and 9 p.m. Sorry, I got a request. Okay, sorry about that. I wanted to finish my thought. So you are going to have to do a little bit of research on timing in your city and what is the best times to drive for Lyft, for Uber or Uber Eats, or both. What I have found is that Friday nights, Uber Eats blows up. I get a lot of Uber Eats, so I will back away from driving for passengers. On Saturday, the way that I do it in my city is I will drive passengers to the bars, and then about 10 o'clock in the evening, I've noticed between 10 and midnight, I get a ton of drunk people, right? So what I do is I remove the driver's side, and I just run Uber Eats, and I deliver a bunch of food in that time. Then I don't have to deal with too much of the drunk crowd. On the other thing of that, if you do drive all night, which I do a lot, after 2 a.m., I will run Uber Eats and get a ton of Uber Eats orders, because a lot of the drivers go home after the bar crowd close here is 2 o'clock. So what I do is I take and I run Uber Eats that amount of, right after bar close, and I get tons and tons of Uber Eats orders. And because they're drunk, I also get a lot of big tips. Okay, last question for today. This comes from Amy. Amy asks, can I kick people out of my car? So yes, Amy, you can kick people out of your car. However, understand that once the trip is started, if that person gets in your car and you activate the trip, that person now has the ability to do two things. One, give you a 1-star rating, and 2, report you to Uber. Okay? I always recommend to have, oh, sorry, I was going to show you my dash cam. I always recommend having a dash cam running for your own safety, as well as passenger safety. I have had to kick people out of the car before, and I did it extremely professional. Maybe I'll put up a video of that, because I actually kept the file because of the nature of the issue. But yes, if you feel unsafe or you feel like this trip is just not going well, you are welcome to kick that person out. However, I always recommend 2 things. Number 1, be very, very, very professional. Don't get into the yelling game with them. And then also, make sure you drop them off in a well-lit area, especially if you're dropping off at night. The last time I had to do it, I dropped them off at a Taco Bell. I pulled into the Taco Bell and I explained, I'm in a well-lit establishment that is open. You're welcome to go inside, order another car or a friend, but this trip is over. I then canceled the ride, and I did get a 1-star rating because I'd already started the ride. She got a 1-star rating as well. However, the very first thing I did was I called Uber. I called Uber and let them know what happened, so that it is on file before she gets a hold of them, because they don't have a phone number to call. I called and explained exactly what happened, and also put in there that I do have full dash cam video from the very beginning of the trip to when I dropped her off.